Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the clinical aspect of the brachial plexus, that is the Erb's paralysis, Klumpke's paralysis and the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior. Now first of all the Erb's paralysis. Now over here the site of injury is the Erb's point. Now what is Erb's point? Now if you remember, I told you in the brachial plexus video that the brachial plexus has mainly three trunks, that is upper, middle and the lower trunk. Now this Erb's point is mainly present in the upper trunk of the brachial plexus. Now the upper trunk, if you remember, the upper trunk is mainly formed by the union of the two roots, that is the C5 and C6. Okay, and it has mainly two branches also. Upper trunk has mainly two branches of it, that is suprascapular nerve C5 C6 and the nerve to subclavius C5 C6, right? And it has mainly two divisions also, anterior division and the posterior division, or the ventral division and dorsal division, right? Now the union of these six segments is known as the Erb's point, and injury to this particular Erb's point actually causes the Erb's paralysis. Now the main cause for this is the undue separation of the head from the shoulder joint, and this may be occurred during the birth time, or when you fall from a great height and fall directly on the shoulders only, or we can say during the anesthesia. Now over here the main nerve roots involved are of course C5 C6, which actually forms the upper trunk, right? Now over here the muscles are also paralyzed, right? Now over here the mainly paralyzed muscles are four. Remember, brachialis, brachioradialis, biceps brachii and deltoid. 3B, 1D. Brachialis, brachioradialis, biceps brachii and deltoid. And partly paralyzed muscles are the supraspinatus, infraspinatus and the supinator muscle. Now over here the deformity is mainly occur in the arm and the forearm, and over here the arm is actually hang by side, and adduction and the medial rotation of the arm occurs, as you can see in this diagram. Over here the arm is actually adducted and medially rotated, while the forearm over here is extended and pronated. Now as you can see, this actually looks like a policeman is actually asking for a tip, or we can say waiter's tip or the porter's tip. So this paralysis is also known as the policeman tips, or the waiter tips, or the porter man's tips. Okay, because it looks like the policeman or the waiter or the porter is actually demanding for a tip, right? So also known as the waiter's tip. Now the disability over here, the loss of movement. What disability or the loss of movement occurs in this paralysis? They are mainly, just remember the opposite of the deformity, of course. Whatever the deformity will be there, so of course the disability will be present. So deformity was adduction and the medial rotation of the arm. So disability will be opposite, means the loss of movement will be opposite. That means the abduction and the lateral rotation is of course lost by the arms, and in the forearm the lost movement is of course over here, as you can see, it is extension, the pronation. So over here the lost movement will be flexion and the supination, right? Now also the biceps and the supinator jerks are also lost, and also sensation loss occurs mainly at this point. This point is actually known as the regimental point, or the regimental badge, we can say. Okay, over here the deltoid muscle is present. Here the sensation are mainly lost over a small area over the lower part of the deltoid muscle. Okay, and that's why over here, if you know that the military men actually wear a regimental badge over here. So that's why the loss of the sensation mainly occurs at this point during the deltoid muscle paralysis, and that's why this point is also known as a regimental badge point. And over here the sensation is mainly lost. This regimental badge mainly occurs during the injury to the axillary nerve, which actually supplies the deltoid muscle, but over here we can also consider this. Now the Klumpke's paralysis. Over here the paralysis mainly occur at the injury to the lower trunk of the brachial plexus. Site is the lower trunk injury. Okay, and if you remember, the lower trunk is mainly formed by the union of the two nerve roots, that is the C8 and T1. Okay, so nerve root involved in this are the C8 and T1, and the main cause for the injury to the lower trunk is that it is mainly caused due to undue abduction of the arm, and the undue abduction of the arm mainly occurs when you try to clutch something, when you are actually falling from a great height, and to safeguard yourself you try to clutch something from your arms, right? And at that time undue abduction of the arm occurs, which actually causes injury to the lower trunk, or it may occur due to the birth injury. Now over here the muscle paralyzed are the intrinsic muscle of the hand, which is supplied by the T1 nerves, and the ulnar flexure of the wrist and the finger, which is supplied by the C8 nerve. So intrinsic muscle of the hand and the ulnar flexure of the wrist and the fingers are actually paralyzed in the Klumpke's paralysis. And over here the deformity is the claw hand. As you know that the claws of the birds are actually looking like this, right? So the deformity in this, the human hand or the human head actually also forms claw like shape, right? Their deformity is claw type hand. Okay, and over here what happens is the claw hand mainly occurs because of the unopposed action of the long flexures and the extension of the hand. Now what happens over here is that in the claw hand there is hyperextension of the metacarpopharyngeal joint. That means this joint, the metacarpopharyngeal joint, these are the pharyngeal bones and these are the metacarpals. So the metacarpopharyngeal joint over here is actually having the hyperextension, as you can see, and there is hyperflexion over here, or the flexion of the interpharyngeal joint occurs. So hyperextension of the metacarpopharyngeal joint and the hyperflexion of this interpharyngeal joint actually occurs in the Klumpke's paralysis, as in claw hand, and the human being's hand actually looks like a claws of the birds. Now disability of the Klumpke's paralysis, first of all the complete claw hand, this one claw hand, cutaneous anesthesia and analgesia mainly around the narrow ulnar border of the forearm and the hand. Now anesthesia means the loss of sensation, but the analgesia, that means the loss of pain sensation. Now the Horner syndrome, it is mainly occur when the T1 is injured proximal to the white ramus communicants to the first thoracosympathetic ganglion. It mainly causes ptosis, meiosis, anhidrosis, anophthalmosis and the loss of ciliospinal reflex. Now what are these terms? First of all, the ptosis. Ptosis actually this one, involuntary drooping of the upper eyelid is known as the ptosis. Meiosis is actually this one, excessive constriction of the pupil of the eyeball. Anhidrosis, loss of sweat. Anophthalmosis, that means this one, there is the displacement of the eyeball is known as anophthalmosis. And the loss of the ciliospinal reflex, in this the afferent C2 cells are injured, and as because of this the pupil of your eyeball actually fails to dilate when the skin of your back of the neck is pinched. Now the vasomotor changes. Now in this what happens is the arteriolar dilation of your skin actually occurs, and as because of this arterial dilation your skin becomes warmer, and also the skin becomes dry because of the loss of the sympathetic action or the sympathetic reflex we actually cause the sweating, right? So this is the vasomotor changes. What are trophic changes? Trophic changes mainly involve the atrophication of your nails pulp and the finger, and as because of it the nails actually cracks, and also the skin becomes dry and scaly. So in vasomotor there is loss of sweat formation and also the skin becomes warmer. And in trophic changes, the nails actually crack because of the atrophication of the pulp of your finger, and also the skin becomes dry and scaly. Now the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior or the nerve of Bell, it is also known as the nerve of Bell. Now the causes of the injury of this are, first of all, sudden pressure on the shoulder from the above, or we can say carrying heavy loads on the shoulder actually causes the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior or the nerve of Bell. Now deformity is actually the winging of the scapula. Now what is winging of the scapula? Just look at this diagram. This is the winging of the scapula, in which the excessive prominence of the medial border of the scapula occurs, as in punching or pushing action. When you punch or push, your medial border of the scapula actually is prominent, as you can see over here. Now disability over here is a loss of punching and pushing action, because when you will do this, the medial border of the scapula will become prominent and will cause the winging of the scapula. And also remember, the arms cannot raise above 90 degree. Why? Because just remember, for up till 15 degree abduction of your arms, okay, remember supraspinatus muscle actually act for the beginning of the abduction of your arm up till 15 degree, okay, and up till 15 to the 90 degrees deltoid muscle actually causes the abduction of your arms, right? While above, when you want to raise your arms above the 90 degrees, two muscles mainly act, that is serratus anterior muscle and the trapezius muscle. But over here, as because of the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior, so of course serratus anterior muscle will get paralyzed, and as because of this, arms cannot raise above 90 degrees. So remember, up till 15 degrees supraspinatus muscle, up till 90 deltoid, and above 90 two muscles, serratus anterior and trapezius muscle mainly act for the abduction of the arms. Okay, and as because over here the injury actually occurs to nerve of serratus anterior, so because of this the arms cannot raise above 90 degree. So this was all about the clinical aspect of the brachial plexus, including the Erb's paralysis, Klumpke's paralysis, and injury to the nerve to serratus anterior. Hope you understood well. Thank you so much.